Hi, Brian. How are you?
Good. It's been we've known each other. Let's see, when was I in here? 2006, 2007?
Yes,
I think it was my first year here.
Yeah.
So it is so great to see you. You have not changed a bit.
Oh, well.
You look exactly the same. I'm fatter, balder,
That's great.
and a lot older. So, well, thank you. Thanks for letting me come in. And you
No
are
problem.
always you're a tough person to coach because you're a master teacher.
Oh,
You're
thank
just a
you.
master teacher. I walk
Thank
in
you.
there, and there were several times where I was like, whoa. I mean, this was such a smart teaching move. So it was like, those kids are so lucky to have you
Oh,
as a
thank you.
teacher. I
Thank
mean,
you.
they really are. So I want just to highlight a couple things.
Okay.
I want to come over here. I want to talk about, there's a couple really, really smart things that you were doing, I thought, with the print-rich environment. So you had question of the day, you had it written on the thing, and then you had the fly swatter that you
Yeah.
cut the hole out of.
Yeah, well, actually, it was purchased like that. But
It was
yeah,
purchased
yeah,
like that?
Yeah, they sell them like that.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
so, I mean, of course that develops
Yeah.
concept of word.
Right.
And so what was so interesting to watch is one little girl, just went through the question, and she wasn't reading the words, but
Right.
she knew that she was supposed to be, that there were words up there that she was matching.
Right.
And what I loved about what you did was you didn't correct her. You just said, great job. Can I have another friend come up and read the question? And the other friend that came up and read the question, I mean, is he already a reader?
He's already a reader. Like,
Because
some words
he read
I-
each word.
Right, he read each word.
Yeah.
He's already reading some words, and then words I see him pondering over, and he's kind of connecting it.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. He'll go into kindergarten reading. And that is the big concept of word is the big turning point. As soon as a child has a concept of word, then they're ready to start reading.
Right.
He definitely has it.
Right.
She's developing it, which
Right.
is right where she should be
Right.
at this point. So you asked a ton of open-ended questions. What can you do with these bricks? And then you let multiple kids answer the questions. You asked very few closed questions where there was just one answer. So you really allowed, those questions really allowed for some great talk to happen. The name recognition where you had kids pull up the names. So you tell me a little bit about how you thought large group went.
Well, I thought it went pretty well. It's Monday. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to get on Monday sometimes.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But I think it
And
went
it's-
pretty well.
Not only is it Monday, but it's also daylight savings time.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We went through that
Yeah.
last night. So, yeah. But I thought it went pretty well. There's some children, that I know that I was targeting today.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so who were you targeting and
today
why were you
I
targeting
called on
them?
Lisa quite a bit. So
Okay.
she is one that I was kind of like trying to see like where she is from the last, because at this point, we just ended our assessment period, so we're on to our third trimester. So I'm just trying to push them forward, see where they are, just to try to like push her ahead from where she is.
So what's going on with Lisa? Like,
Well,
why did you
Lisa,
choose her?
she definitely sometimes, especially with the questioning, I noticed that she's not really connecting. If I ask her open-ended questions, so sometimes, in the second trimester, I was doing the either or with her,
Yeah.
just to try to
Kinda scaffold
scaffold it a little bit. But I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Is she like a processing thing with her, or is it her just not really like really connecting what the information is? So for that reason, I was targeting her. The little fellow that was sitting next to me,
Yeah.
I was targeting him for other things today. Just
Yeah.
was he able to? And that was a wonderful group today for him, by the way.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, and I'm a distraction. I'm
typically-
sitting right behind him, so
no,
he's like
no.
looking.
Yeah, typically he would be all
Oh.
over the place. Today it
Yeah.
was a good group for him, so I was proud of him. And then I felt that it went pretty well.
But
yeah.
Kim, I think what's really powerful what you just said was even though it was a large group and you're focusing on the large group,
Yeah.
you still have in mind individual needs within the large group.
Right.
And I think that's really smart that you're thinking that way
Right.
with those two kids. I wanted to ask you also about I thought your transitions were really like smart. So tell me how you go about doing transitions with your students between the different large group exercises?
Well, I could have something planned, but I might have to alter it a little bit, just depending on if I see that they're engaged, they're not engaged, or just trying to change it a little bit. Like, they love that Freeze It song, so I had to play it. And I'm so tired of it.
You're over
I'm over it. But I knew that they had done something for group, and I was like, okay, well, this is their interest. So they're going to participate. So
exactly.
that would be a little thing of like, okay, I'm going to switch it up a bit. But as far as transitions, I just have to be mindful of my students.
Yeah.
And, read the audience.
So you went from large group to small groups.
Went to large.
Tell me a little bit how you did that.
Okay, so I have noticed since the beginning that it just works better. It just works better. Like, how am I going to, do 18 and really target the whole class for discussion for 4-year-olds? So I definitely knew that early on, that breaking them into groups. And also I'm thinking ahead. I know they're going to kindergarten, and I know that they're going to have to break down into groups. They're going to have to be able to work in groups. So I always alter it as far as like how we get there.
Okay.
So like today was the numbers. They've noticed that they have done numbers before where they have to like get in the groups like that and figure it out. Like, okay, you're 1, you're 2, you're 3. Or,
But see, I thought that was so smart because you're bringing in numbers.
Yeah.
And I was like I was just bowled over by how easily they were able to number themselves and then get into those groups.
Yeah, well, we worked on it, of course, but I knew they could do it. Again, I have to read my class, and so it was one of those things. At the beginning, we didn't do numbers. We did shapes. We did other things a visual, like before, like, okay, you're with the circle group, you're with the triangle group, just to help them understand that they're going to be working with partners. And we partner up a lot because I just know that's what it is now. And that's what.
Well, and they get a lot more talking I think. And then you and Miss Tuck work really well together. She took a whole group. On her own, and she was interacting with them the whole time.
Right.
You had 2 groups side by side, and you were able to seamlessly go back and forth and just jump in there. Okay, so you have a new curriculum this year, and I'm curious, what are your thoughts about the new curriculum in terms of large group?
The
pros and cons.
Okay, so the pros would be, I love the discussion. I love the children being able to, just explore with material, because a lot of times we're taking materials or things that's going to be out in the choice areas, but it's allowing them an opportunity for me to get feedback on what it is and where they are and what they know. So for that, I love it. A con would be, I feel like sometimes it may be a little too long.
Okay.
And sometimes I still miss kind of like that morning meeting segment where I feel like I can, actually demonstrate and share with them what materials are out. So now I feel like during choice time, I'm more so like trying to get that covered. Yeah. And tell them, well, this is here, and trying to get them engaged in it. But when we had morning meeting, I knew that they were going to go and explore those materials because I introduced it. And also I allowed them to say, well, how else can we use these materials and things like that. And so with that, they were able to, go with their idea, explore other ideas. And again, that's, me able to see what they know.
Well, this is what I think is important for you, and I think this would be probably my coaching point to you is you have a new curriculum.
Right.
You have this whole vast knowledge of a past curriculum.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what you need to think about doing is modifying. I don't think any curriculum should be set in stone, like it has to be this way. No. I think you have to modify it so that it works for you. You are a master teacher.
Right.
You know what you're doing. So I think it's so I think it's going to be a way of modifying it to meet your needs.
Right.
So how are you modifying it to meet the needs of your students?
Again, like if it's too long and I know it's too long, we're out of here. We're just cut it. I mean, it's pointless to just keep going over for my own need of like what they're not getting anything anymore, so just move on. Also, like I said, I know that piece with being able to demonstrate and show them how the materials are going to be used or manipulated or how they can explore with them. That's something I still fuse.
Yeah, of course. because you know, but because you value it, you know it's important, and you know they need that.
Right. Because there's no perfect curriculum. I mean, you know,
exactly.
I feel like I can take pieces from all of them and
that's
make it work.
I believe that's the way we should look at it. Yeah. Okay. This is my other big question for you.
Okay.
In what way? Okay, so I see you as you have been doing this for how long now?
17
years.
17 years.
I mean, you have this down.
Yeah.
You have this down. How can you take your teaching in your own classroom? How can you take this outside your classroom now? Because I think you need to start thinking of yourself more. Of course, you're doing amazing things within your own classroom, but now I think other people could really benefit from your experience. So, how can you start envisioning taking this outside your classroom?
I really want to do workshops and things like that, but you know, with the 2 children and everything. But lately, you know, it's trickling off. They're getting older, so some of those things that I used to be concerned about, I'm not as concerned about anymore. Their needs are met in that area. So that's what I envision happening, you know, starting to be able to conduct some workshops, because Ms. Tuck and I both say that a lot. We're like, we could teach a workshop on this.
You could totally
we
teach
can totally do this. So it's just about getting that done.
Here's my recommendation.
Okay.
I think get some permissions from your parents.
Okay.
You need to start filming yourself.
Okay.
All sorts of the different things that you do. I think there's, in that 20 minutes, I saw you, you could do a workshop on how do you organize for large group, because you were so prepared and organized, it was seamless.
Okay.
That is something that teachers desperately need to know how to do.
Okay.
Another one, how do you do transitions? Just showing, within that large group, showing how you went from large group to small group, showing them how you even got them together for large group, showing how you transition them out of large group.
Right.
That's a whole thing, segment to film.
Okay.
The third thing, filming the small group talk that you were engaging in, Ms. Tuck was engaging in with the kids. That's another. I really think you guys need to start filming, maybe create your own YouTube channel.
Okay, I've thought about it.
And then start working with some of the teachers here.
Okay.
But then I think you need to start thinking about teaching other teachers, because you would be great at a role like that.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that. I mean, do you have any questions for me? Anything that?
No, I was just excited about you coming. It's been so long. I enjoyed our work together years ago, and so I was just eager to see you. And I said, I hope Brian. I said he should have like a before and now to see if we're on the same track. Before and now.
Oh my gosh, no! I mean, I always remember you as being such an awesome teacher. So it was like a total pleasure to be in your classroom
thank you.
That many years ago. But you haven't missed a beat.
No, thanks.
So, well, is there anything that you would want me to bring to you or send to you through email? Any articles that you might be interested in?
You could actually, I would be interested in, just kind of maybe like kind of an outline of how about going about some of these transitions out into the community, as far as researching with other, sharing information with other teachers. I'm currently in a leadership program.
Oh.
A graduate program.
Oh, that's great.
For administration. I do not want to be a principal.
Okay.
No offense.
Yeah, no.
offense,
you're not offending me. I didn't want to be a principal either.
But I do want to take a leadership role, so I went the course for this, and I am.
Well, there's a couple things I think you need to think about: creating a website, writing a blog about teaching.
So that's in my PDP.
Getting involved in Twitter, because there's a whole Twitter education community, and then filming yourself.
All right.
I think those are the 4 pieces, and I'll write that down and I'll send that to you. I'll even I have a webpage, I have a YouTube channel, I have a blog. I'll show you mine so that it can give you some ideas of what you could create for yourself.
All right.
But I think that's your next step. I think your next step is now taking your work outside, taking the work that you're doing inside your classroom outside the classroom.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Thanks.
Thank you.